sure most of what is to be said has been said. First, to appreciate the FOI Council for putting this together. I also thank the MBA for providing the platform. The open justice system, for me, is long overdue. It is a bit ironical that the most crucial arm of government is the one that is kept most secretive. I say it's ironical because the particular place of the judiciary as that arm of government that has the constitutional responsibility of interpreting laws, apportioning blame to lawbreakers, and reviewing government actions, is the one that doesn't seem to have the muzzle to carry out its functions. That's the beginning of our quest for open justice. I'm sure on many occasions you have seen the National Assembly beamed live on television. Their proceedings are aired live. It's a testament to the importance that we attach to that arm of government. What can I tell you about the executive? They own the knife and the yam. If an executive governor or the president wants to go to the toilet, he can ask all the television stations to hook up, and they will. Why have we found this so difficult to air live proceedings of the judiciary? What the open justice system is calling for is a situation where judicial processes are subjected to the twin principles of openness and accountability. Nothing more, nothing less. Why, for instance, should the citizens not be privy to live broadcasts of court proceedings, the way the National Assembly has live broadcast of its proceedings? So the impression people have out there is that the judiciary is a secret court. And it starts from the proceedings of the judiciary itself. Why do we have to dress up in this Babalawo style? Why shouldn't a lawyer dress in a pair of trousers, a long sleeve shirt, and a tie? Indeed, why should I not put Boba and Shokoto on as a lawyer? That's where the secrecy begins. The judiciary is presented as an arm of government that is anti-people, that is not close to people. So we're talking of open justice. Let's start from there. The reason is that the background for the judiciary is very elitist. It's only now that lawyers graduate, they have no job. That's when that institution has been so demystified. Before now, it was seen as one cocoon, one cabal that you cannot find entrance to. To underline how people see the judiciary, let me share this with you. It may seem a joke, but it's the reality. A woman was in court. She had approached the court to give her justice. The defendant in that proceeding had finances and got a lawyer, a silk, who sat there and began to say a lot of things. And the woman folded her arms. The woman knew that every one of those things that were said was a bloody lie. And this was this man wearing this Babalawo attire in the name of a senior advocate who kept lying his head off. And the woman attempted to talk. Somebody near her told her, said, for here, you don't talk. Contempt of court. They will send you to jail. And the woman kept bearing it until she could no longer bear it. As the senior advocate was saying another one, the woman said, hey, Ulaya, who did there? It seems a joke, but that is the frustration that underlies the experiences that people have had with this very crucial arm of government. And so what do we find? People prefer to settle matters at the police station rather than go to court. They are not sure of justice because there is no openness. One of the benefits of the open justice system is that it infuses confidence in the people and therefore they can approach the court. Because what you see has a clarity and gives you confidence that the right thing is happening there. But what is cloaked in secrecy, you don't believe that you can get justice. How many people know how judges arrive at decisions? I can tell you there are a lot of lawyers who appear before magistrates and judges who cannot interpret the judgment of a court. They can't tell their client what exactly has transpired. In summary, the matter is over, we lost. Cloaked in secrecy. So the beginning of the quest for open justice system is to open it up and let the public watch in real time proceedings of a court. I want to be able to sit down in the comfort of my living room and watch the proceedings of a particular matter that has become of crucial public importance. The second thing is that if you look at the three arms of government, for those of you who have had a stint with government, politics, and even the law, I'm sure you have heard of this cliche that the three arms of government are equal and that one should not interfere in the other. They cloak it as separation of powers. It's hogwash. There are actually two arms of government. Some will say one. Because once you give authority without a provision, the authority is zero. What has happened is that the executive has the money, they sit on it. Because they are in cahoots with lawmakers, they share with the lawmakers. That's why you hear that a senator will take home 45 million naira in 3 months. And then you are asking, what does the judge receive? Google may not even be able to help you. If you pass through FOI, they are likely to tell you that there's the issue of domestication. And so the judiciary itself is starved of provision. The executive has its money, it uses it. The parliament has its money, it uses it. Why should the judiciary not have its own money? Why should the judiciary go cap in hand to the executive to get releases of funds? Yet they generate funding. They generate resources. So unless there is financial autonomy for the judiciary, we cannot begin to talk about the open justice system. And I'll tell you, there's not likely to be financial autonomy there because the man who can send you to jail, why should you empower him? Justice Ikome, who just left, is a bastion of courage and integrity. Incidentally, the case he was referring to, the very first, and the MPA chairman referred to, the very first case where a judgment was given under the FOI was a case I filed. And this young man here, this young man, whose wife is sitting there smiling, was my counsel. He was smaller then. But this woman saw courage and embraced it. She saw the merits of the case. It was against the government. And we won. We got judgment. Because he displayed courage. But there are very few like her in the judiciary. You heard Mr. John Ote mention the cul-de-sac in which the judiciary has found itself as far as appointment of judges. We know those decisions are taken in the hallowed chambers of government houses. Forget about all of those screening and all of that. You can screen from now till their kingdom come. The list which has been compiled in government house is the one that is going to be approved. So, open justice system, what are you talking about? And I'd like to mention that I am looking forward to the existence of People's Court, where in my community, ordinary people can adjudicate on matters. Where more and more lawyers, especially those of you who are graduated, you are looking for work, you can't get. You are teaching in one private school, they are paying you 20,000 naira in a month. Let's ask ourselves, young lawyers who go to attach to senior lawyers, how many of you get more than 25,000 naira? Isn't that even a crime against humanity? That somebody has spent 5 years in school, another 1 year in the law school, has gone to do one thing they call, what do they call it? NYSC. If bandits don't kill you, Boko Haram doesn't kill you, and you survive and you come back, somebody is giving you 25,000 naira. We are talking of open justice. What's open about that? So all of these young lawyers who have no money, let us appoint them as community judges. So that in Ugbo communities, if it's a good thing to get a vehicle to go to Ugbo, now you know how much you will pay, you will suffer on the way. So let's just have one people's court there. And have Igede is there. He's very eminently qualified. Ask my brother there. You make him a judge in that area. When he's going to court, he wears trousers and one shirt. The people can identify with him. So they bring their matters before him. He will listen to them without the jargons and the legalese of the law. So that true justice is being served. People can walk up to the court, they can approach the court in all their simplicity and be sure that they get justice. That's why the clamor for ADRO, the Alternative District Resolution, is a predication, it's a result of the lack of openness in the justice system. People are losing confidence in the judiciary. So I like to commend again the FOI Council for being innovative, for being creative in raising these issues that nobody ordinarily will want to touch. But we have to discuss it because that's where we are going. We can deny it now, we can work against it now, but we do not have a choice. A time will come, the courts will be empty because people are seeking alternatives. The ideal way of your community will become a judge there and begin to hear matters. People will learn senses and know that if they go to that court, they are not getting justice. Let's just discuss with the audience way and settle the matter here. After people are settling the police stations already. Which are the cases in court now? Political cases, land cases. And then of course, cases involving some demons who fell down from hell to the world, who are raping and defiling little children. Those are the cases in court. People are losing faith. So the quest for the open justice system is a cry for true justice. It's a protestation against the inequities in the system, the absence of fairness in the system. That's what the open justice system is about. Finally, I'd like to say that if we must have open justice, it's not just a matter of saying it, there is a cost to pay. And that cost must be borne by the system. If I say government, I'll be deceiving myself. The system must pay for it. How does the system pay for it? If you go to court now, I pity judges and magistrates. They must steal. You can't stop them from stealing. To even stop them from stealing is an offense. It's a crime. A judge will sit down. All the testimonies that is going to be given in that court is using longhand to write. Have you seen the big books that judges write in? They will write and write and write. Which offense did they commit against you? Whilst they are writing, some of you are pressing and collecting millions. You are pressing and collecting millions. And somebody sits down in government house and signs a couple of papers and it takes millions home. And legislators are seated in the lower and upper chamber. They should have a middle chamber now where they fight and kill themselves. They will sign a few things. They just talk nonsense and collect hundreds of millions. What does it take to hire stenographers? Haven't you seen how it's done elsewhere? The judges that way look robust. They like the system. These ones are angry with the system because of what the system is taking them through. What does it take to deploy technology so that the judge listens? The magistrate just listens. And by listening, is able, look, there are things you see in a case that may not be said. But by just observing the court processes, by observing the demeanor of the witnesses, you are able to see the path of truth and therefore guarantee justice. These ones are sweating and writing. Most of the time, they can't even recognize who is talking. And you are seeking for justice. How? From where? How much does it take? If this country can budget $1.5 billion to go and repair a dead refinery, is it money to digitize the court that we are looking for? But they will not do it because it is the court that brings them to order. When the act of travaillance is the court that brings them to justice, that brings them to account. Why should you empower the man who can bring you down? We can say more and more, but I've said my own. I'd just like to notice that in very many engagements that I am called to attend, because of my own nature, I try to be as punctual as possible. But on many occasions, I join them to arrange the hall before the event eventually starts, an hour later. This is a great achievement, that you were ready to start at 1. When you want to change a nation, it's little things like this. That was a little leaven, and the whole lump. It starts with little things like that you don't bother about. We are a nation that has no respect for time. We are so undisciplined. Everything goes. It is only, a lot of you have traveled out. Where else do you see them say to 1? After 4. Have you heard it outside the country? To 1. What is to 1? It means that we have no value for 29 minutes. It's rubbish. 29 minutes is nonsense. So we say to 1. Nobody tells you 12 minutes to 1. No, to 1. Those 29 minutes don't matter. After 4. How many minutes after? It's after 4. The 29 minutes don't matter. Another protest ground. Before you start saying, some of you start saying, Alutana. Is it justice here? See, Bidi here. I will say more than this. God bless you all.